The theme at World Cup Sunday, last-minute heartbreak. Belgium defeated Russia in the first match of the day with a goal in the 88th minute when Divock Origi, a second-half substitute, scored from just outside the penalty box. The victory propels Belgium on the round of 16 for the first time since 2002. Russia, however, is still alive in group play. The second match of the day, Algeria took a 3-0 lead into halftime against South Korea and walked away with a 4-2 victory. But perhaps the biggest heartbreak when the U.S., after coming from behind to take a 2-1 lead, allowed a goal with just seconds left to end in a tie with Portugal. Joel Richards is in Rio de Janiero with the day's World Cup action. So Joel, I guess this means the U.S. must tie or beat Germany to move on to the next round.
Evening, Asif, from just outside the Maracanã, which you can see behind us. And as you said, a heartbreaking end to that match for the United States. They've done so well to come back and to take a 2-1 lead against Portugal, a Portuguese side that was expected to do very well in this competition, boasting one of the world stars in Cristiano Ronaldo, but it really hasn't worked for the Portuguese. That said, it was Ronaldo who swung in a very late cross 4 minutes into time added on, which Varela then equalised, and he said, meaning that group with Germany and Ghana and those two countries is still very much open. A fantastic end to a day which started off here at Maracanã. Belgium winning their game just 1-0 against Russia. Not very convincing from the Belgian side though. Easily qualifying though for the next phase, so they must improve though when they get into that qualifying phase if they are to progress. And then in the other game we saw Algeria winning 4-2 against South Korea, the first African side ever to score 4 goals, a real achievement and on the brink of qualifying for the next phase. So things starting to come clear in terms of which sides will qualify, but also of course which sides won't. England are one of those sides that will not be in the knockout phase. They lost their first 2 games to Italy and then to Uruguay, their worst ever performance at a World Cup finals, going back to 1958. And we went to the England training camp to see a little bit what the mood was like in one of the teams expected to do considerably better than the side performed at this World Cup. An idyllic location, first-rate facilities. England had everything in their favour to perform in Brazil. Instead, it was the country's worst World Cup performance at a finals since 1958. The mood in the camp is low. England players taught a simple lesson.
You need to win your first 2 games. It's the best way to do it, and that's how Costa Rica have done it.
There was great pressure on Wayne Rooney, the Manchester United striker expected to fire his team to the knockout phase.
I think in previous tournaments we haven't maybe played as well in games and gone through. Whereas in this tournament, it's been fine margins, which we've said, and we could have quite easily have got something out of both games. So it's tough to take that we're out of the tournament. And
the British media believe there's no room for excuses.
In South Africa, everyone was miserable. They were stuck out in this place they didn't like, but everything here has been done to a T. They've got a huge entourage here. When there's people here sort of testing your sweat to kind of work out, when you need the drinks and everything, that it's been incredibly meticulously planned, but ultimately, so it comes back to the football really,
Thousands of English supporters travelled to this World Cup in Brazil, and though expectations were lower than in previous tournaments, they at least expected to reach the 3rd group game with a chance of qualifying.
I think as an England fan, you always go in with a little bit of hope, but I don't think we expected to go too far. So, it's been a good trip. It's been a nice place to come, but, it's a shame it has to end as soon as it did.
I think we did okay against Italy. I think we were unlucky. I think in the second game against Uruguay, we were unlucky as well, but you make your own luck. And actually, we defended so poorly. And for people that are Premiership players playing for the likes of Chelsea and Everton, it just wasn't acceptable defending.
England has one final game against Costa Rica next week, but Roy Hodgson and his team's early flight home has already been booked. Joel Richards, CCTV, Rio de Janeiro. So England on the way home, but one of the great stories, Asia, in Costa Rica, making it through to the knockout phase.
So Joel, what's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, we're now into the last group games, so it's all being decided now. Tomorrow, Holland against Chile, really the standout game, but also hosts Brazil will be against Cameroon, and they'll be looking to secure their place in the knockout phase.
Thank you, Joel.